Hello, people of the world! I'm back at it again, and it's one of my characters' birthdays, so it's time for another character video! These have been going on for almost a year now. I wonder whose birthday is today. So it's that time, huh? Well, if you do not know who that was, it's Aoi. She's a character in the webcomic that I'm working on, which is called The Illusion. It's being published for free online webtoon Canvas and follows the Travel Club. This is a group of students who are trying to take down a shape-shifting race of creatures called monochrome. They're doing this using the power of mood rings, which harness the power of their wearer's emotions. If you do want to learn more about The Illusion, there's an older video that I'll link here so you can learn more about its basic premise. Although sorry it's not here, it's currently on life support right now. With all the little changes and retcons that I've been making here and there, I am practically draining the life out of it as we speak. Okay, no, but speaking legitimately, I've referred back to it in every character video, but I might finally get around to updating it sometime. This is especially because this is the last character video that I have planned for quite a while now. I've posted quite a few character videos throughout the course of this year where you can learn more about the Illusion and its characters. I aim to publish more Illusion content next year, but at this moment in time I have a lot more else that I want to work on. To be honest, not a lot of this involves content creation, so I'll really only be making things in my spare time like I have now. I also don't want to make any more character videos for the time being because I don't want to run out of characters to talk about. I could make character videos for Noelle and the Master, but I think they'd go a little something like
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck.
Yeah, I'll be waiting until the comic progresses a little bit more before even thinking about making those. But today's focus is Aoi, and I knew she was coming up. So I've been mentally training and preparing for this day. Oh yeah, there's a reason her birthday is so late on in the year. I've given myself time to prepare, gone through every single character video so far. I've had a rigorous training regimen, placing hidden training rates on my brain muscles each day, making sure I would be ready. Surely my brain will be bulked up enough to unpack Aoi's character. This will be one of the best character videos I've ever made. And then I wrote the script for this and all that training went out the window. This is because Aoi is definitely one of the more complex characters in the series. I'll be keeping this as understandable as I can though. Hopefully if I do, you'll end up liking her wild card sort of nature as much as I do. Her full name is Aoi Fukui. She's 18 at the start of the story, and this makes her the oldest of the main cast. Aoi's an energetic and pretty eccentric sort of girl who does hide her pains through her joys, never really thinking back to the past and always looking forward to the future. She's often uncontrollable and overexcitable, but she is the one who keeps the group together, and she has lots of intelligent ideas to get them out of bad situations. Not only does she keep them together, but she's played a big role in bringing them together too. She's brought them together ever since she got her ring when they all first met during the incident that occurs at the start of the comic. Aoi wears her ring on her right index finger, and she mostly uses the power of excitement. I've really messed this up, and this is one case where I definitely don't want to refer back to that original Illusion video. In there I call it the emotion of happiness, but calling it excitement is so much more accurate. I'm unsure if I corrected myself on this before, but I thought I'd take the chance to correct myself again. I feel more than a little ashamed of making such a crucial mistake, but I know it's just always best to pick yourself up and move forward. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. That being said, she uses the power of excitement, which manifests in the form of air or wind. This heavily relies on her emotions, and this is a pretty good thing because Aoi is incredibly excitable. More positive emotions like excitement do have to be pretty potent for the rings to manifest them. Having more negative emotions mixed in definitely draws the rings towards them more, hence why positive emotions like excitement won't manifest unless there's a truly dominant emotion in someone. Her powers mostly go through her weapon, which she's very lovingly called Gideon. Gideon the Bazooka. Who trusted this hyperactive girl with a bazooka? Well, for once, I don't have to take responsibility for something. If you're watching this, then you know who you are. Back on track though, Gideon I actually would say is the most powerful of all the Ring Bearer's weapons. It can shoot multiple shots in rapid succession at a time, and each shot can reach up to around 100 meters. The biggest drawback of Gideon though is that it takes a long time to charge. Thankfully, with how fast each shot comes out when it's charged though, Aoi is one of the most powerful and strongest members of the team. She wants to use this strength to find her sister, which is her biggest hope. She knows that she had a sister and she really wants to meet her, but she's found it difficult to remember some elements of her past due to her memory lapses. It feels to her like the time she spent with her sister is a happy one. Regardless though, nothing is able to tell her about her sister. Not her memories, and even not her foster parents, who don't really know her family history. This is why Aoi's biggest fear is forgetting. Something she worries a lot about because she knows that there's elements of her past she's forgotten. This explains a bit of her direction from now on though, because now she's determined to make every single moment she has a memorable one. This leads her to put all her energy into everything that she does. But if you need to condense all of that overwhelming information, here is Aoi in a nutshell. A short video containing all of her fun.
You stay positive. You always believe that everything is going to work out. How do you do it?
Well, I'll tell you my secret, sir.
I lie to myself. Every morning when I wake up, I say everything's gonna be okay, but I'm lying.
Aoi has quite an interesting development history, so interesting that she didn't actually even start as my own character. Her initial concept came from a certain wonderful someone who takes responsibility for giving her a bazooka. I'd asked for inspiration when trying to make the last member of the travel club, and it was, needless to say, absolutely delivered. From her concept I created her design, the general base of which hasn't really changed. The more you look at her old sketches though, the more you start to see just how much she's actually changed. This is because there were definitely a lot of learning curves when it came to drawing elements of her design. I know I talk a lot about hair in these videos, and this is no different because drawing pigtails was a huge learning curve for me. Aoi's have been all sorts of odd lengths and shapes and thicknesses, and this definitely reminds me of a certain #1 princess in the world. Sorry, where was I? Yeah, learning curves. Well, another that I had, bazookas. Yeah, you never know what you'll draw as an artist. Aoi doesn't look all that great in her initial sketch, but your attention gets driven away when you've got Gideon looking like it's been shrunken down to the size of a tabletop role-playing piece. My bazooka experience has gotten gradually better, but one aspect that is still always changing is the stickers she uses. I do find myself still changing them from time to time, I will admit, but also considering that Aoi's the kind of character that would choose stickers that she wants on any time, I feel like this actually kind of works. Aoi's casual outfit is definitely more inspired by Harajuku fashion, since knowing her, she would visit Harajuku every chance she gets. What she wears is absolutely not meant to reflect any specific style like Decora, Gyaru, or any form of Lolita though. It's just a casual and cute style which is more just like Aoi's own thing. It doesn't really take inspiration from any one style, just more the cute side of Harajuku fashion scene as a whole. Plus there are many styles in Harajuku fashion that are so specific that I just felt like putting her into one would not only be too restrictive when designing her, but also it would be something I couldn't draw too accurately. But I just went with the best that I could do with an outfit that would actually reflect Aoi as a character, and I feel like it's there. Her personality though has been equally parts easy and equal parts tricky to form and write. I have had plenty of fun writing and drawing her more playful and comedic moments. She's always able to make the scenes she's in so fun and energetic. At this same time though, I also want to handle her sensitively. This is because, and you may have guessed, but her excitable and eccentric personality is, at least partially, a result of our good old friend, unresolved trauma. This is something I really can't avoid when it comes to explaining her character. Because, although it's not the focus of her character, Aoi's mental health does play a large role in her story. If subjects of mental health are sensitive ones for you at the moment, I highly suggest skipping past this section. I can't exclude talking about it though, because it is necessary when discussing her character. If that's understood though, then I'll explain this as respectfully and with as little spoilers as I can. The reason why I do say all of this is because Aoi has a condition which, if given a diagnosis, would probably be a light form of schizophrenia. This, like many other forms of schizophrenia, was brought on by events that occurred during her childhood. She's been able to manage its negative symptoms thanks to past therapy, which has helped her work through, accept, and embrace who she is. This is why she's had some more positive coping mechanisms. Despite this though, there are certain events she's not yet processed, and the trauma of them has led to lapses in her memory. I won't lie here. I have been dealing with a constant worry of giving the wrong impression that people suffering from psychotic conditions like schizophrenia are all like Aoi. A lot of the time, even a condition like schizophrenia may not be visible on the surface, or it can come on very strongly. This is why during the comic itself, I don't plan to say she has schizophrenia, but I have to address that it's something heavily implied, and I want to explain that it's only one depiction of schizophrenia. Everyone's experience with schizophrenia, and really all mental health conditions, are different. I have done my fair share of research into the condition. Regardless, I don't claim to be providing a fully realistic depiction of schizophrenia through Aoi in any form of way. The way that schizophrenia has affected Aoi, a character written by a person who has a second-hand understanding of the condition, is never going to be the exact correct depiction. And really, in my opinion, there is no one correct way to depict mental health conditions. When everyone's experiences with them are so different, these different depictions of mental health conditions can be right and wrong in all sorts of different ways. But I have decided to include subjects of mental health, especially since they align with the general themes and direction of the comic. These are particularly within Aoi's character, and they've been a part of her since her creation. But still, I'm aiming for her character to be a much more positive representation of mental health. This isn't to educate people on these conditions. To do that, it's always best to learn from genuine professionals. Now we're past the heavier stuff though, I'll get into the much more enjoyable parts of her character. Aoi does begin the series as the brightest of all the cast. She's the one that initially brings the club together, since she's wanted to make a club for the longest time. She's a very carefree spirit, not even asking the others' input before creating the travel club. But it's this carefree spirit of hers that does a great job in bringing them together and helping them learn more about one another. Aoi really is the glitter glue of the team, and despite the troubles they face, her presence keeps reminding them that they're working well together. This is mostly because she copes with all these memory lapses and trauma she has through her positivity. She's able to focus on the much brighter aspects of the world. Because she's not able to focus on healing her own wounds, she focuses on bringing others together instead. Like the others, Aoi tries to get Emi to open up during the course of the story. She seems to have a lot of struggle doing so though. Makes sense when she's trying her best to connect to a person who might as well be the exact opposite of her. She doesn't really have the right means to thaw the ice around Emi, but they still do form a strong connection. Since they're both ring bearers, they both quickly come to trust each other. Eventually, this trust leads them to helping one another in different ways, and Emi does play a big role in helping Aoi face up to her traumas. Since both of them are in a similar position as ring bearers, they do end up being able to rely on each other. Aoi dotes over Maya quite a lot though, and she treats Maya almost like a little sister, always looking out for her and making sure she's safe throughout their monochrome fights. She does really enjoy this, since treating her like a sister proves to Aoi that she really did have a sister. The way they look out for each other makes them feel like soul sisters, even if they aren't related by blood. This feeling of having a sister definitely helps Aoi connect with Daigo too, since he understands the feeling of taking care of one a bit too well. He also knows what it's like to feel like you don't have a place in the world, and ending up focusing on others as a result of it. They might have major differences, but they're able to connect over their similarities, encouraging each other in subtle ways, even if Aoi is a little eccentric for Daigo's taste. Once Otome joins the group though, Aoi is more than willing to welcome her. Otome definitely gets frustrated by Aoi's overly positive attitude, and so she often keeps a good distance away from her. This does change when Aoi learns a bit more about her own story and when Otome learns about it too. This seems to give Otome a realization that they can connect more heavily than she initially thought. Seeing Aoi be so positive all the time gave Otome the impression that their experiences had been so different. This made her feel like they could never connect, but she soon finds that they aren't so different after all. This definitely helps Otome to warm up to Aoi in a way, even if Otome doesn't like to show it. There's another person who doesn't show what she thinks of Aoi, Noelle, who may as well be Aoi's opposite. She has a cute appearance on the surface, but her cryptic and closed-off personality instantly puts Aoi off. Compared to a straightforward and cheerful person like Aoi, Noelle works alone. She has a disdain for the main cast, but she's also quite closed off. The contrast between these two very different characters brings out a side of Aoi that no other person really does. This isn't the same with the Master though. The Master is a little cryptic, but they try to be open and honest to the group. Aoi seems to grow closer to them as a result. She's the only ring bearer who doesn't really have anything against them. Aoi never fails to brighten up a room, but it's clear this brightness is coming from a place that covers up a lot of negativity and trauma. If you ask her why, she'll definitely deny this. There's a part of her that can't bring herself to face negativity in any form. Given some time though, this will change, if only a little bit. Until then, my analysis on her character ends here. This is also the last character video I'll be making for this year and the foreseeable future. I changed my workflow quite a bit this year by making these character videos, but I think it's now time to return to form and get back to working on the comic itself. As I've said before, I have lots more ideas that I want to work on, and I also don't want to spoil the rest of the characters. That being said, thank you so much for watching this or any other of my character videos. I'm happy that I have a place to get out my ideas like this. So once again, thank you people of the world, and I'll see you next time.